There are many advantages to dialyzing at home, but it's not for everyone.
My wife and I's relationship is very dependent on dialysis being out of the home. You know, she's very aware and she's very supportive, but it is very, very stressful on her. And we felt like having a machine and all of the space required for that and all of the materials and supplies would probably take up a good 25% of our home. And I think it's much less stress on her to just have this part of my life removed from the home.
Still, if you think it's right for you and your healthcare team agrees, your center will arrange for the equipment and supplies. They'll still follow your treatments very closely and see you when you come in for your checkups. And you'll also be given a 24-hour telephone number in the event of emergencies.
Very little blood, about a half a cup, is ever out of your body at any given time. It takes about 20 minutes for all your blood to pass through the machine once, but it takes many of these cycles before your blood is thoroughly cleaned and excess fluids are removed. During hemodialysis, water, salt, and waste products are taken out of your body faster than they would be by a normal kidney. So you may experience low blood pressure, cramps, nausea, headaches, or tiredness, especially in the first few weeks before you become accustomed to treatment.
And until you kind of get it down, what your weight is, how much water they take off, and what you eat. And, oh, some days it's just miserable, and you think, oh, when will I feel good? Will I ever feel well?
After you've been on treatment for a while, you'll learn to recognize the first signs of these symptoms so you can tell your nurse or technicians early enough to do something about them.
Before you finish your treatment, EPO, a special medicine that prevents anemia, that's when your body is not making enough red blood cells, causing you to feel very tired, may be injected into the tubing. To learn more about EPO, look at that tape in this video series.
The dialyzer and the machine do a wonderful job in filtering out waste products and excess fluid, but they can't completely take over the work healthy kidneys do in balancing important substances in the blood. That's done through the medicines you'll need to take, but mostly through your controlling the type of foods you eat and the amount of fluids you drink.
We do have to watch it. With dialysis, mostly you have to watch your fruits and vegetables. He's not a big vegetable eater, so that's not real tough. You do have to be aware of the fruit servings and the milk servings, things like that. But it hasn't been that difficult to adapt to a normal diet because you can have small amounts of most things. So you just have to keep in mind what you've served recently and how much of fluid he's taking in. And he watches it himself.
The diet I am on right now is a low potassium, low protein, and low sodium. And it was, at first, I just had a terrible time. The dietitians were just all over me, saying, you better do this or it's over. So I finally got in shape and realized that, hey, if you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to be around.
Too much fluids or the wrong kinds of foods between treatments can make your treatment uncomfortable and can have serious effects on your health. Too little of the right food can also cause problems, so don't be surprised if we ask you to eat more than you think you should. We'll want to keep your strength and weight at healthy levels. We'll work with you to develop a diet plan that's right for you, that takes into account your overall health, any medicines you take, and what you and your family like to eat. To learn more about nutrition, look at the videotape on that subject in this series.
Taking all the medicines prescribed is also very important. You may need to take medicine to control your blood pressure, medicine to keep your bones healthy, and multiple vitamins.
We'll do monthly blood tests called chemistries to tell us how well you're doing, and if any changes are needed in your diet, medicines, or even length of time on the machine. And we'll go over these tests with you each month.
Hemodialysis is an excellent treatment choice for many people, but it can present problems too.
Some mornings, no, not some mornings, just about every morning I wake up and I gotta think back of what I did yesterday, whether I have to go to dialysis this morning or tomorrow. That's every single morning. It's on your mind. And so that really makes me decide whether I'm ready to get up right now and get out of the house or whether oh, well, it's just dialysis today. I'm not in any big rush, you know. That's what I feel. Every morning I think about it, and it's kind of saddening.
Social workers are trained to help you with problems like these. To learn more about some of these non-medical concerns, look at the videotape on coping in this series.
Hemodialysis has proven to be effective, reliable, and safe. Understandably, there are concerns these days about infectious diseases like AIDS and hepatitis and how they might be spread through treatment. Now, I'd like to put these concerns to rest. Medically, the chance of this happening is virtually non-existent. Nevertheless, every precaution is taken to make absolutely sure this does not happen. If you have any concerns, discuss them with your nephrologist or any member of your healthcare team.
Is there anything else?
The cost for treatment. You'll be relieved to know that most, if not all, your expenses are covered by Medicare, as well as many private insurers and state programs. Your social worker can answer questions about coverage or direct you to others who may help.
Now let's review some of what we've learned today. We've said that hemodialysis is usually done 3 times a week for 2 to 4 hours at a dialysis center or hospital. We've seen that hemodialysis uses a machine and an artificial kidney called a dialyzer to remove waste products and excess fluid from the blood. We've talked about the special access that must be surgically placed in your arm that allows your blood to flow out to the dialysis machine and back. Then we went through an entire hemodialysis treatment, right from the weigh-in, through the treatment to weighing yourself at the end of the treatment. We've said that you'll need to take some medicines to control your blood pressure and to keep your bones strong. We've talked about the importance of diet. We discussed your chemistries and how important they are in telling us how well your treatment's going and if there's any changes to be made. We talked about EPO, a special medicine for treating anemia. We talked about home dialysis and that for patients who live in rural areas, it may be the only form of hemodialysis available. We said that home hemodialysis requires a care partner and that training will be provided. We talked about costs and that most expenses are covered by federal, private, and state insurance programs. And we've said that if you dialyze in a center or at home, you'll have a dedicated and concerned health care team working with you and your family to give you the best care possible. All of us here hope you've learned something about hemodialysis from this video and suggest you take the time to watch the other videos in this series. Even if you're not considering other treatment choices now, as your condition changes, you may want to look into the other choices discussed in this series.